Welcome to Supahuman Studio, the AI operating system for vocational education in ANZ. Today, I want to show you the new operating way for skill standard assessment in the workspace. Skill standards are NZQA's newer format, designed to focus on a broader and more practical focused approach. The outcomes are wider and the evidence is more flexible. It is a new wave for the learners and the industry, but it also means that content generation requires more context and user input to generate assessment that are actually high quality. And here's how Supahuman Studio enhances that process. Here's a standard dashboard. There's a list of skill standards that have already been uploaded. Let's click into one. You can click into View Skill Standard to see all the basic information like title, level, and purpose, assessment information including grade criteria, and the learning outcome with the assessment criteria. Let's generate an assessment from this standard. You'll notice something different. Skill standard now trigger a new two-step process. Industry profile now has become a mandatory. Because skill standards are broader in design, the system needs to know the workplace context your learners are operating in before it can build something of quality. You can also choose specific question types or leave it to the AI. When you leave it to the AI, the system analyzes the standard context and applies the question types that will best draw out evidence of competency for each task. Step 2 is the indicative content review. The system proposes a structure based on the standard. You can review it, provide feedback, and add refinement inputs that shape the final assessment. For example, I selected office workplace as my industry profile. I want to emphasize contractors and emergency services, and content like prisoners isn't quite applicable. I can note that directly here alongside with anything else relevant or not to my learner's environment. And since my standard has a strong focus on services, a deep knowledge of cultural context is also need to be emphasized in this assessment. So this step is where the quality comes from. You're giving the AI the professional context it needs to produce an assessment that's actually grounded in your learner's reality. Let's look at what has been generated. The assessment opens with a contextual case scenario that learners complete before the examination itself, grounding everything in a real workplace situation from the start. You can open the reasoning function and get a full summary of every design decisions, including how the indicative content feedback was applied. The emphasis on contractors and emergency service is also reflected here. The question reasoning is also worth taking a look. The AI has already explained which question types it applied to which task and why. Observation-based tasks get practical demonstrations, knowledge outcomes get scenario questions, so the method matches the evidence required. What this gives you is an assessment that's genuinely fit for purpose, not just compliant on paper, but designed around how your learners will actually demonstrate their skills. The move to skill standards is about better outcomes for industry and better opportunities for learners, more logical qualifications, and programs that deliver meaningful and consistent experiences. For providers navigating that shift, this is the workflows that bridges the gap between what the standard says and what a quality content creation looks like. Are you ready for the shift to skill standards? Supahuman Studio is here to make that transition seamless. Thank you for watching.